Hello, welcome to day 5 of the Mindset Challenge. It's the final day. I hope you've enjoyed the rest of the challenge, and this day is all about putting it all together. So you've done the gratitude part, you've forgiven or started to look at forgiving people, or yourself for what you... Hey! Look, I've got curly hair today. I've gone au naturel. Yeah, so today is day 5 and it's all about putting everything that we've worked on together and manifesting the life that you want. Basically, I'm not going to speak a lot about law of attraction and writing things down and kind of in more of a spiritual way. I'll touch on that, but I want it mainly to be so that people that aren't so spiritual can also connect to this, and also a lot of people get the wrong idea when we talk about law of attraction, I think, and manifesting, and they sort of think that it's a bunch of people who are really hippy dippy, asking the universe for what they want, and then they're automatically getting it and they're not having to do any work for it. Not everybody thinks that, but I've come across a few people that do. So as much as I love law of attraction and things, I'm going to talk about a little bit more about how we can put it all together, everything that we've done about the Mindset Challenge so far, and then hopefully it will make sense. So I have got notes again because I'm useless without my notes. So, the first bit is on this workbook. I went to see the new Star Wars film, and Yoda is just like, my guru. I love him. I just think he's amazing. So there's a Yoda quote on here, and I won't do the voice because me and my husband do the voice for one another, and it cracks us up, but I don't think I want to do it on camera. So want to know the difference between a master and a beginner. The master has failed more times than the beginner has ever tried. That wasn't in the recent film, but this bit was. The greatest teacher failure is. And I just thought that was amazing. I wanted to stand up in the cinema and start clapping, but I didn't. I didn't want to embarrass my children, so I just sat there and ate popcorn, shoved it in my mouth. But I absolutely love Yoda, so I couldn't resist putting that one in. Yeah, so basically we all know he's saying that to become a master of our own life, we need to keep trying, and every time we get knocked down we get back up and we try, because the more we fail, the more we learn from it, and the more we have the power to achieve what we want to. So, and nurture our potential. Had to get that one in. So how do you manifest the life that you want? Self-belief is a huge thing, and every successful person at some point will have worked really hard on their self-belief, or they just are very lucky to have, well, not even lucky because it's about work, but they've managed to grow up believing in themselves, which nowadays is quite a mean feat. So believe it and you will achieve it. In fact, believe it so much that you feel like you already have it, which is where the gratitude comes in. So have you ever heard the expression, fake it till you make it? I've heard that a lot, especially on Facebook, and some people think about it in exactly the wrong way and think that they have to act on Facebook like they are millionaires and they've got the most amazing car, and I don't know, just really show off and make it look like they're really successful, so that a lot of network marketers do this, so that people will join their team because they think that it's gonna make them really rich and successful. I hate it because it's so fake, and I love people who are really real and actually, yeah, Nicola's saying, I used to get annoyed by fake it till you make it until I totally mistook what it meant. Taken me a while to understand it. Yeah, I absolutely hated it when they were saying that, because I've been in a couple of network marketing companies and things when I was sort of discovering myself and what I wanted to do. And when you have kids, I think, and you try to work from home so that you can stay with the kiddies and things like that. Yeah, so it's just not for me. It works for some people, and that's fantastic. And a lot of my friends do things like that, and I'm really supportive of them. But there's particular companies out there that just actually not very nice. So fake it till you make it, not in the sense of network marketers and people like that, in the sense of just being confident, being grateful for what you do have, and thinking about your goals and what you want to achieve and working towards them. I think, yeah, it's just how you're choosing to live a life full of gratitude for what you have. It's having an attitude of abundance rather than an attitude of lack. And when we think like this, our attitude to life differs, and we'll come across more happy, more confident. Not everything could be, fantastic and amazing and going really well for you, but because you're giving off that persona and you're being really positive, and people enjoy your company, they're going to want to get to know you, help you out, develop friendships and meaningful ones. And it's also about being yourself, and just if you're yourself with people and you're building meaningful relationships, then you're going to feel happier in yourself. You'll be able to connect with others. So the next point is forgiving yourself and others for past failures. So this is where day 2 came in. Forgiving others is quite hard. Forgiving yourself is even harder. And I think when we've had experiences and things in our lives that have really sort of knocked us, it's having the courage to say, actually, I was in a bad place then when that happened, and to forgive ourselves for what's happened and be able to let that go and move on, so that we can have that positive attitude and our self-belief. And then letting go of fear and negative beliefs follows on from that. So what are you scared of? Are you making excuses as to why you can't move forward in your life? Stop, identify the negative beliefs and work through each one so that you can then move forward and not have fear. So once you've got those in place, and you're continuing to work on them all the time, making sure that you're not letting them drag you down, and you're starting to look at life much more positively, then you can start to move on to the organising your mind, organising your life, organising your home, organising your work schedule, organising, running around after kiddies, which is really hard work, I know. Then if you are like me and you put more stress on yourself by bringing horses into the equation, and that's a big responsibility, because you can't go on holiday. You've got to, well, you can, but you've got to organise everything. You've got to make sure that you're there morning and night to look after the hairy beasts, and you also add a bit more of a financial responsibility to yourself. You've got to manage that. So basically, it's all about only taking on what you can handle, being wise enough to sort of say, I've taken on too much, and to work towards cutting it back. Being a little bit more organised if you can, trying to make sure that you've planned your week out and you know exactly what you're doing and where everyone's got to be at certain times, and just I was talking to Nicola earlier about lists and things, and how it is actually really hard to remember to make a list and to look at it and to do it on a daily basis. And some days I manage it, and then other days I'll have a list sat there and I'll just go, you know what, I don't feel it today. I'm having a day off. I'm having a little bit of a break, because I need to sort my mental health out and I need to do a bit of self-care. And that's okay, and you just know that you're adding a little bit more to your list tomorrow, but it's worth it to have the rest today. Or you push through, and you if you really are feeling like you've got a little spark of something flickering in the background at the end of a very dark tunnel somewhere, and you can push through it, then like today is Friday, if I had a few things on my list that I really needed to get done, I would try and reach deeply into myself and get them done, so that tomorrow I can have a lay in and a little bit of a more relaxing day. But if I really couldn't, it's not the end of the world. Do what you feel is right, and always focus on self-care if you can, so that you're in a place to be able to look after everybody else in your life and animals, etc. Right, so the last point is writing it all down. Make your intentions known and work on them every single day. So it's not writing your intentions down and thinking, oh, the universe will have my back and I don't have to work towards it, I don't have to do it. Because that's what manifesting is all about. We just write it down. There's a spiritual group I'm on, and at the moment everybody's manifesting the money that they want to bring into their lives, which is fantastic and lovely. But I do kind of wonder whether some of them are thinking, if I write down pages and pages and pages of the same thing over and over again, and the universe then knows that I'm going to be wanting that in my life, whether they think that's actually going to just come to them, or whether they realise that they do have to put the effort in to do that too. And yeah, so it's about not only making your intentions known, but working on them every single day, making connections, building your tribe of people so that you have meaningful relationships, and people can see the real you and how much you care about people, and that you're actually making an effort to help others, and it's not all just about you manifesting that money, or, you know, it's not all about money. So use diaries, journals, timers and rewards to organise and motivate you. Put an end to procrastination, and make 2018 the year you begin to manifest your dream life. Don't sit back and expect it to happen, because as Yoda says, we need to keep keep trying, and the more we fail, the more we learn, and the more we carry on and build our potential. So there was something else I wanted to say. It was about building your tribe, I think. And yeah, so a few other little tips. Discover what makes you really happy. So if you're in like a job which you absolutely hate and it's making you miserable, you need that job to pay the bills. So I'm not just saying quit your job and go home and paint pictures for a living, because we know that that is a struggle and it doesn't work for everybody. But find out, work on yourself and ask yourself questions and journal and discuss, trawl the internet and just have a real play with self-discovery and working out what is the best fit for you and what your personality is. I've done millions of quizzes and things online. Most of them are for fun, but actually in the process you do learn quite a bit about yourself, and if you ask yourself the right questions, things come to you and ideas come to you that you will actually be able to use. And yeah, it's quite a cathartic process. So discover what makes you really happy, what you enjoy, if you're creative, well, everyone's creative in a sense, so where your creativity lies, and constantly just work on yourself. And read it. I've got so many books. I chat to quite a few people about this, how our book list is just developing so much, and we feel like we don't actually have the time to read them all. So at the moment I'm trying to read a chapter a night of a really good book, which is about it's Gabrielle Bernstein's new one, The Judgment Detox, and I'm really loving it, and it is actually really helping me. But if I try and read it all in one go, it's just not going to happen. I'll end up doing what I have with a lot of books, reading about a chapter and a half, putting it down, and then reading another book at some point, and part of another book, and not actually ever completing them. So I'm doing a chapter a night and trying to pace myself and organise my mind. It's a nightmare. So yeah, changing your perspective on success is also another one. Thinking that everybody that's really successful has had it's all been through luck, or that they have been given some money to start a business, so they're automatically on their way and they've never had to work for it. That's another thing that I think stops us from manifesting our own life, because we're kind of thinking someone else has had it easy, and that so because they've had it so easy, that's why they're successful, and that if we try, we're never going to be as successful as they are, because we've not had the help and support, which isn't necessarily true. And there's a lot of people that have lost everything in the process of being to be successful, and they've had to build it all up and start again. And if you sort of read a lot of autobiographies and things, you will find that it's not always been easy, and a lot of people that are successful, they have invisible challenges, shall we say, that have hindered them. Yeah, I did write a bit about this somewhere in my notes. Yeah, one thing that I've learnt so far in life, I'll read this to you, is that success is never an accident. Success also doesn't happen overnight for most of us. It may sometimes appear that way, but that is a very narrow perspective of success. Just because you cannot see something doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. And for many successful figures, the hard work, failures and setbacks are just an invisible, unrecognised byproduct of their success. The biggest lessons are failures. And as Yoda says, the greatest teacher failure is. So, believe in yourself. Forgive yourself and others for your past failures. Let go of your fear and your negative beliefs. And write down your intentions, make them known, and work on them every single day. They're my top tips. And I think the task today is a series of questions, like I was talking about self-discovery. So I've written down some questions for you in your workbook. There's only 5, but I want you to try and think quite deeply about them, and if you can meditate, or you can sort of have 5 minutes of just relaxation time, sort of try and clear your mind, because these are quite deep, important questions. Try and get nice and relaxed and chilled out, and inspired by something that inspires you. And then think about these questions in your life, because they're things like what would you do if the world was going to end, and things like that kind of are very thought-provoking, and hopefully will trigger you to think about how your life is now and how you want it to be. And then I've got my journal out as well, my Filled with Dreams journal, and I think I mentioned it in the first lesson, but I just wanted to, in the first challenge, but I just wanted to say again that every Sunday I journal, and I write in there last week's successes, So examples of them were that I managed to organise my home and get everything organised for school for the girls. I ate healthily and didn't overindulge. I planned my week ahead, made and attended my doctor's appointment and refilled my prescription, which I find challenging sometimes, I forget. Thought positively, stayed motivated and focused on the future. And then I have my gratitude, which I already shared, I think, in the gratitude one. And then I always write goals. So this is the part where I'm trying to manifest, and it's just writing. I like to write things down so that it's known to me, my higher self, and to the universe. So this was Sunday for this week, so let's see if I've done them. Next week I'm going to get up early each morning to make the most of my day and go to bed early to look after my health. Well, I've done that because I go to bed usually by 10:30 at the latest, and I get up around 6:30, so I've been doing that this week, which is great. I'm going to launch my 2018 Mindset Challenge in my Nurture Your Potential group and do a live video every day. Well, I did that, even though yesterday I really didn't want to, but I did it. I'm going to stay positive, find my courage and not get discouraged or frightened. I got a little bit frightened at times, but I did it. I will continue the successes of last week, but ask for additional support if I need it. Yeah, I actually did. I needed to ask for additional support because my children were poorly, so I did that. I asked a friend to help me out with the horses, so very grateful that she did that, so that was great. And the last one was, I will trust the process and not get bogged down by where money is coming from. I trust that money will flow to me when I need it. I am abundant. So that one's kind of like a little affirmation, and that one's like, obviously my business is all just starting out, and it's, you know, I've got to be just trusting in the process of how it's going, and the way that it's working is going to be successful and right for me. So not panic, not getting a panic too much, which I think I'm trying to do. And then the last bit that I do, which isn't for everybody, and if you're not very spiritual you might not want to do it, but you can still do it, it's not, you know, it's not a massively spiritual thing, is pull a card from my Miracles Now affirmations. So I just shuffle them, spread them out, pick a random one randomly, and I think, oh actually, yeah, weirdly, the one that came out for me last week was, when I respect my money respects me. And after my last goal, that was quite spooky, but today I just picked up, when I've overshared, I simply say, wait, why am I talking? Maybe I'm oversharing with you guys today. Okay, so I think that is probably a sign that it's time to end my video. Yeah, it's weird how that works sometimes. Right, so it's the end of the challenge, but I will try and come on live in the next couple of days and find out how you've all got on with it and what you thought. The workbook also has 5 affirmations at the bottom, so make sure you don't miss those. They're right at the back of the workbook, right at the end, and there's one for each day, so you can I don't know, if you want to, chop them up and stick them up somewhere that you're going to see them every day, and try and continue to work on the stuff that we've worked on in the challenge. And I really enjoyed doing this, and I've got so many ideas for more stuff. It's just finding the time, organising myself and getting motivated to do it all. But keep your eyes open, and I will let you know all about what I'm up to and what's going on very soon. So thank you for taking part. It's been great, and lots of love. Take care. Bye.